This is Theocracy Watch. Florida wants to ban books for spells, necromancy, and divination unless you're parting seas, raising corpses, or calling on the spirits with a cross in your hand. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where outlawing spells and witchcraft in schools is somehow a bigger priority than keeping kids fed, housed, or healthy. In typical fashion, conservatives focus on fantasy fiction while real-world problems keep piling up. Florida HB 1389, introduced by Republican Representative Doug Bankson, a pastor, naturally, would ban material in school that reference occult practices, sorcery, divination, or necromancy. The language is intentionally vague, but the implications are clear. This could be used to censor things like fantasy novels like The Golden Compass and Goonies, cultural traditions and world religions that don't center Christianity, history lessons that include indigenous spirituality, voodoo, mythology, or student creative work that even hints at supernatural or magical themes. Can you imagine? They want to ban books for mentioning spells, divination, necromancy, but of course, spells parting the Red Sea or raising the dead are okay because they're in the Bible. If we're keeping it 100 by their own standards, the Bible would be the first thing pulled off the shelf. Moses turns his staff into a snake. Elisha calls down bears to maul disrespectful children. Saul hires a medium to summon the ghost of a prophet. Jesus spits in the mud to heal the blind and raise someone from the dead after 3 days. If this is about keeping the occult out of classrooms, they better start with Sunday school. This bill is part of a larger crusade. In recent years, Florida lawmakers have removed books on race, gender, LGBTQIA identity, restricted AP African American studies, expanded public funding for religious schools that preach a narrow worldview. Conservatives are moving beyond censorship. It's called in the name of parental rights, a campaign to replace public education with religious indoctrination. This is what Christian extremism looks like in schools cheered on by Trump and his GOP, where one religion dominates the lesson plan, difference is treated like danger, and culture gets erased under the guise of protection. Every banned book, every censored page pushes students further from knowledge and closer to control. So get local, talk with other parents, and keep asking questions. This has been Theocracy Watch, so stay curious.
Well, are we surprised? Now, I just want to mention this language is so broad, right? It's so vague and so broad. They can now, your first thoughts are like Harry Potter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, no, they're going to go after Harry Potter. You know, I don't really care myself about Harry Potter. I wasn't that big into it before J.K. Rowling came out as an anti-trans flirt for whatever she is. And since then, I've even cared for it even less. But the language is so vague that things like Isaac Asimov's work, you know, the Foundation series where, I mean, it's all science fiction. But they're using their mind to take over people. They can make people do what they want to. There's these. So if you're vaguely familiar with what I just said, there's a show called Foundation now that actually talks kind of along the lines. Literally, they could start because their language is so vague. That's witchcraft, or that's, you know, whenever you talk about magic or anything, that's divination. Mm-hmm. The language is so vague and so broad, and it is one thing to say, you know, here's our religious school. We're not going to let those things happen in our religious school. It's a completely different thing to go to a public school where there are Wiccan children, there are Israeli children, there are Muslim children, there are children from all kinds, Indian, Native American, Indian from India, Native American, I mean, Hindu, Jap. There's so many different cultures out there. Why can't those children go read their books? Read information, read the histories and stuff, because you know exactly that stuff would be targeted. They're essentially targeting anything that's anti-Christian or that's not Christian. It doesn't have to be anti-Christian, just not Christian. If it takes your eyes away from the Lord, get rid of it.
Yep. You know, as you said, it's so vague and intentionally so. They can eschew anything to make it sound as if it's spiritual, right? It could just be spiritual, not even really religious of any nature, but that's got to go. But we can have the Bible in there that talks about children.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And that's the part of I don't think enough people call them out about the Bible part of it, you know? With those verses. I remember you were like the Ten Commandments. Let's put this in here. If you want to post that, just imagine teachers being able to post whatever they want to above the sign or around the sign. 10 Commandments, but also later on it tells you to kill people right here. This is the next verse, the next page. It tells you to go kill people.
Yeah, no Wizard of Oz. That could be considered, with a godly tone, religious overtone.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And whenever we can sit here and we can watch, that's the whole part of it for you to watch in our channel. This is the whole part of Theocracy Watch, is that every single day without fail so far, Miss Ryan has been able to easily find things. There's so many. And you know what? If tomorrow she has a hard time finding an article for some reason about some Christians somewhere across our nation trying to force their nonsense on us, she doesn't even have to find something new. There's so many things she's done. She could just do us an update. She can go, here's an update on that Theocracy Watch we did last week. These people were trying to, because some of them we did, but we didn't follow up on, where they were going to try to put this in, or they were going to try to punish this trans girl in this state. We don't know how that turned out. So, we could do follow-ups on that sort of thing because it's just so regular. It's an assault. It's an assault.